Now the way I'm going to work this is that I put the, I've taken a deep box and I've cut off the back. And I'm going to put a plug-in or a receptacle in the back here. And then where I put the switch is back through here. And I'll use a couple of drywall screws to hold the switch in, and then I'll cover it with the cover. This is the only thing I had to buy so far, and it's a 30 amp receptacle. You need pretty healthy receptacles and switches in your shop. Well, I've got the box installed and the power cord installed, and these are the lines that come through the power cord. And so I'm going to install on these the switch. And this is an old switch that I had laying around, so I'm going to choose the hot side and wrap it around the screw here and wire this up. Now you should wind it around in the direction on the screw that you'll be turning the screw, so that it will tighten around the shank of the screw as you turn it in to tight. Okay, that's good and tight. Now power comes in, then depending on the position of this switch, whether if it's on, then it'll allow power to come on through this second screw and go to the receptacle. I've already installed the wire on the receptacle, and I'm going to stick it through the opening I made here, and again wrap this around in the proper direction, and screw it down tight. If I can manage it, I will. You need to twist these wires so that they don't fray out and come in contact with something else. They either give you a buzz or a spark. I seem to be having problems here. My dexterity is not so good this evening. Now there you go. Now what I call the hot side, which is usually the dark, in my case, comes in from the power cord and is switched on and off by the switch. Once the switch is turned on, which it currently is, then the power comes through the switch and into the receptacle. Now the other side of the power cord, the white one in this case, is what I'm going to connect to the other side of the receptacle. And I'm not sure that you could see all of this happening, but I'm wrapping it around again the proper direction on the receptacle. And I don't have a long enough cord so you can see that well. Now we have the switch in line with the hot side, and I install it right here. So I'll go ahead and run the screws in there. Okay. Now on the inside, install the receptacle. In this case, the receptacle is both outlets are switched. In other words, when you turn the power on, both sockets will be switched on. If you turn it off, they're both off. I'm having to break one of the tabs off because of some restrictions here on room. Okay, now we put covers on. Both of these are old covers that I had laying around, and it looks like I'm going to have to take some of the cover off of this. It's not coming up high enough. Ah, perfect. Okay, now the cover to the switch. Another old cover that I had laying around. As you can see, I've got the receptacle and the switch installed. I'm sorry for the not catching it all on the video, but had an alarm on my phone, which is my camera, and it kicked out of the videoing process. Now we're ready for the to put the top on. So let's get started with that. I'm going to change the camera again. So here we go. Here we are again, and now we're ready to install the top on the router table. So let me get the top. Now this is pretty much the hinging process. Got a couple of bolts that go through this, or these hinging brackets, and they slip into a hole under here that I drilled on the support structure. Let me get the camera and show you what I mean. Maybe you can see that hole under there. I can now place these brackets under here, line the holes up, and then screw these brackets that run up and down here to the router table. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I've got some old lock nuts that had laying around. I'll be using them. I put washers on both sides. Might even be good if I put a washer between the two pieces of wood, but I'm not going to do that today. The next process would be to build in some props to hold it up, and I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, YouTubers, this is where I'm up to, at least to this point, on the router table. I've got the drawers that come out individually, and each one of them has a lid on it, and if you'll imagine the amount of sawdust that will be flying around in there, it's a good thing to have lids. I've got my power outlets right here, and that's the router itself plugged into it. This is a power cord that comes in. You can see it's connected to an extension cord there, and then the switch back behind. It rolls around easily. This stick is that I've got under here is used for propping the lid open whenever I'm making adjustments to the router. Show you how that works. If I can do it one-handed. I'm sliding the bottom in down here. There's a notch that it fits into, and a notch up here under the lip of the table, and down here that notch slips in, and it's pretty much foolproof. You can't knock it out, pretty much. Take a pretty dedicated effort to knock it out. The router still has its own mechanism to raise and lower it. Just a minute, let me swap hands here, and just loosen and it'll drop down. Still takes both hands to get everything like you want it. Okay, the router has a locking switch right here that locks in and out the rotor and turns off the power to the router while you're working on it. Safety mechanism. The future will probably bring a tie into this tightening mechanism, which will proceed out to the side here with a knob on the outside to be able to tighten it and loosen it, and also a kind of a wedge-like system connected to a collar that fits around this to raise and lower it, and it'll all be located out here, a couple of knobs. But that's not for now. What I'm hoping to do today is to do a round over on a little plaque that my daughter's making. See you in just a bit. Well, YouTubers, gonna have to apologize. I did the round overs halfway through it before I realized that I didn't. I wasn't doing the video of it, but as you can see, the round over did real well. No flaws, no problems. So, and getting it set up to do the round over was very simple compared to the way I was having to do it previously. So I'm going to like this. One thing though, this aluminum tabletop does leave black marks on your wood. I had to sand them off. It didn't take much, but that's something to remember. All right, I hope you liked the video. Might give you some ideas, and I really like the pop-up lid on this thing to be able to do all the adjustments to the router. I'll see you next time. Bye.